The following is a News Channel 13 taped rebroadcast. Now, from News Channel 13, 11 at 11.
Good evening, everyone. Our top story tonight, the death toll continues to rise in the south from tornadoes that swept through the region yesterday. Tonight, 20 people are dead, and tornado watches are still in effect in parts of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Ohio, and Indiana. Eric Gershon now with storms that killed from Texas to Georgia.
The storm struck Rankin County, Mississippi in the middle of the night.
Sounded like a freight train. I mean, 1,000 of them. And I woke up and I don't know, the house was just shaking so bad I crawled down the floor.
I've just never seen anything like this. This is unbelievable.
Houses were badly damaged. Trailer parks were torn apart. The timing of the storm appears to have contributed to a large number of injuries. Most people were caught at home, many of them in bed. Daylight brought a clearer picture of the damage. Where the tornadoes touched down, very little was left standing. As some got to work clearing the damage, others could only swap stories and provide what comfort they could. The storms that did the damage in central Mississippi visited Texas the day before. Entire blocks of the Channelview area in Houston are little more than rubble now. Yet in places, homes just across the street look unscathed. Several businesses in this area were hit just as hard.
There'll be a lot of people out of work tomorrow because these businesses back there employ a lot of people from these neighborhoods.
As the storm marched eastward overnight, 2 counties in northern Alabama felt the storm's fury. In New Hope, trailer parks once again sustained the brunt of the damage.
I just found a lot of lucky folks. Some unlucky, but we were very fortunate not to have any fatalities or serious injuries.
Before dawn, tornadoes also touched down in Tennessee about 60 miles east of Memphis. With daylight, the tornadoes moved into suburban Atlanta. Homes were knocked off their foundations. Trees and power poles were snapped like twigs. There's little left of this convenience store.
The guy behind the counter, they said that the wind was getting up pretty high, and I said, that's a little too strong to be normal. I said, I think we might ought to hit the floor, and by the time I said that, I fell down on the floor, and the roof come off the building, the windows blew up, and the building just caved in, and it was over within less than a minute.
From the air, the path of this storm is easily seen, and the damage inflicted on several subdivisions goes on for miles. Eric Gershon, CNN reporting.
And there's more violent weather in Guam, where residents are seeing the effects of Super Typhoon Gay tonight. The storm started to pass near the island around 9 o'clock. The capital of the U.S. territory is said to be a ghost town. No pictures are available out of the South Pacific island at this time, but meteorologist Dave Santoro has been tracking Typhoon Gay and has an idea as to what the people of Guam are confronting tonight. Dave?
Well, the situation is changing. Good evening, Jennifer. At one time, Gay was a very powerful typhoon, same thing as what we refer to as a hurricane. That's a typhoon in the Pacific. Winds were, at one point, up to 180 miles per hour, giving it the label Super Typhoon. Now winds have diminished a bit down to 150 miles per hour, putting it in the league with an Andrew type of storm that affected Florida back in August. And right now we have a satellite photograph of Typhoon Gay located right here. This is a picture of the globe. We've got China, Australia. This is the Pacific Ocean in here. And that little plume of clouds is Gay. Most of Gay, the thrust of Gay, has gone to the north of the island of Guam, and it looks like that will be spared. And so that's some very good news, as it's still a very powerful storm, but weakening, and now moving off to the northeast away from Guam.
Okay, Dave, that is good news, and we'll see you a little later for 11 and 11 weather.
Okay.
In other news tonight, game wardens are now investigating how a stray bullet from a hunter's gun ended up shooting through a family's living room. When it happened, John and Ellen Scriven of Wells said they thought a bomb had gone off in their house. News Channel 13's Tom Halleck has the Scrivens' strange and frightening story.
The hunters weren't breaking the law, but still, wardens say it's a shot that never should have been fired.
As you look around, you see houses all the way around. Not a real legitimate place to be hunting.
Like a number of other towns and cities in Maine, this section of Wells used to be all woods. There was nothing here a few years ago. But now there are a number of homes and neighborhoods that have built up right here in areas where hunters used to have free rein. John Scriven found that out the hard way this weekend when that bullet flew across his neighborhood and tore a hole right through the side of his home.
That's where the bullet came in, went through the lampshade, went over here across, hit the mirror, a mirror that was on the wall here, was deflected down here, hit the wing on the couch, bounced off of there, went across the room, over to here, and ended up here on top of the TV. And the ironic thing about it, it ended right up in front of a statue of Bambi the deer.
Griffin was in the kitchen having a cup of coffee when the bullet came flying in and ricocheted right off the couch, where he usually sits watching TV.
But the point is, you don't expect these things. You know, if we were living way out in the woods and we had a 5-acre lot and we're sitting there all by ourselves, maybe. But when you're living in a development with 40 homes, you just don't expect these things to happen.
In Wells, Tom Hellick, News Channel 13.
And wardens say there's as much game killed illegally in Maine as there is legal kills. But one thing helping them catch posers is a toll-free tipsters hotline. Operation Game Thief was established in 1989, and since that time, the Warden Service says it's received 2,700 complaints, resulting in nearly 500 arrests. Most recently, a tip came in that helped wardens bust a Pittsfield police officer. Pierre Bouchy pleaded guilty Friday to illegally killing 4 deer. If you have information on illegal hunting in Maine, you can call Operation Game Thief at 1-800-ALERT-US. Bill Clinton today smoothed over some rough relations with fellow Democrat Jesse Jackson. The president-elect attended church in Little Rock this morning, where the Reverend Jackson delivered a guest sermon. After breakfast, Jackson said he and Clinton have differences, but share the same goals.
But we're fundamentally on the same road. That is that we must heal the country and rebuild it, investing significantly in the infrastructure. So we are putting people back to work. In that way, you generate revenue. People can pay their taxes, you can reduce the deficit, and increase the quality of life at the same time.
Clinton and Jackson had a strained relationship during the campaign, and political observers saw today's meeting as a chance to renew their friendship. Taking a look at news from around the world tonight, fighting is said to be fierce in Bosnia-Herzegovina as Western warships begin a United Nations blockade. Muslims are accusing Serbs of an all-out attack on the 2 northern cities. And in Sarajevo, artillery attacks intensified with shells landing at a reported rate of 1 per minute. In France, a ski resort is closed after an avalanche killed 7 people. Several other skiers were injured when the wall of snow fell yesterday. The snow swept over a ski slope covering a 100-yard area. Among the victims was a 10-year-old boy and several college students from the nearby town of Lyon. And in St. Peter's Square today in Rome, crowds gathered to hear Pope John Paul make his weekly address. In his remarks, the pontiff warned young people against drug abuse. The speech comes at the end of a week-long program in the European community educating the young about the dangers of drugs. And here's a story for folks who take their comics seriously. A funeral service was held today in Hartford, Connecticut for Superman. The superhero was killed off in the last issue, and fans joined representatives of DC Comics to mourn the passing of the Man of Steel. But never fear, not even the power of a locomotive may be able to keep Superman down. Shortly after news of his demise Thursday came word he will probably return. And I think news of the Patriots' death was a little premature. The team's proving its critics wrong tonight. Tom Karen joins us now with word of an upset. Tom.
Well, Jen, the story is a Superman of the Patriots' very own. He wears red, white, and blue of the Patriots uniform. There was a lot of excitement at these parts after Scott Zolak led the Patriots to their first win a week ago. Zolak the Magnificent was back again today. And yes, the fun is back in Foxborough. Jen, 2 straight wins. We can hardly believe it. John Stevens had 2 touchdowns today. It was the running game in the first half that got things going for the Patriots. John Vaughn added 110 yards and another touchdown. And the D kept things going from there, keeping the Jets to 166 yards and making the day tough on Ken O'Brien and Browning Nagel before him. The Pats win it 24-3. Lots of happy Patriots in the locker room. We were there, and we will tell you more about the game, and we'll check out some of the reaction in that locker room coming up in sports. 2 in a row for the Patriots. Yes, it's all true. 2 straight for the USM Lady Huskies as well. And tonight, a tribute to longtime sports supporter Eddie Griffin. We'll have our own tribute, Jen, coming up in sports in just a few minutes.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that reaction on a win, Tom. And now for a look at our local forecast. Dave Santoro's in the weather office. How's it looking tomorrow, Dave?
It's going to be all right, Jennifer. Yeah, it's going to be mild. We will not have to battle the cold in the morning, nor will your car, but it will be wet. There will be some puddles on the roadway. 47 in Portland, No threat of freezing weather, 45 in Augusta, 46 for North Conway, and 52 down in Boston if you're heading down that way. Yep, it's going to be cloudy all day long with periods of rain and showers in and out. No all-day rain, but damp from start to finish. We do have some drier weather coming up later in the holiday week. I'll let you know how it balances out with actually Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, later on in the newscast.
Okay, Dave, we'll see you soon. There's more to come tonight, including how the Russians are rediscovering the ancient art of herbal medicine now that they're free to practice it once again. We'll be right back.
You're watching News Channel 13's 11 at 11 with Jennifer Savi, meteorologist Dave Santoro, and sports with Tom Karen.
Now, which one of these people doesn't belong on Sesame Street? If you can guess the right answer, then you and 3 friends will have a chance to be guests of News Channel 13 at Sesame Street Live, December 3rd through the 6th at the Cumberland County Civic Center, and December 8th and 9th at the Augusta Civic Center. Just send in the answer with your name, address, and phone number to News Channel 13. Sesame Street Live, welcome by News Channel 13 in association with Shop and Save.
Help is on the way. Just call a Bryant dealer to the rescue and get the Plus 90i. It's the most energy-efficient gas furnace you can buy, and only your Bryant dealer has it. So call Bryant to the rescue.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me.
Regardless of what your needs are, Portland Percussion can fulfill them.
I come up from Boston to go to Portland Percussion.
I teach in New Hampshire and Maine, and I send all my students to Portland Percussion.
I'm into a lot of exotic sounds and instruments from different places like Africa and Brazil and Latin America. I go to Portland Percussion.
On the Gretsch kit, I ordered the drums blank without hardware, and then Mike put on all the hardware for me, and that came out great.
I sell drums, but most important, I play drums. Come and see me for all your percussion needs at Portland Percussion.
The Ford Taurus features like standard driver's side airbag, optional passenger airbag, anti-lock brakes, and child-proof rear door locks make it a very safe investment. And with this limited time lease offer, it's also a very shrewd one. Lease this 93 Taurus GL for $249 a month, and that includes a standard driver's airbag and anti-lock brakes. But hurry to your New England Ford dealers because this offer ends soon.
When the Soviet Union collapsed, so did the government's stronghold on its people's religious beliefs and customs. Now some of those customs are making a comeback. Claire Shipman reports tonight on one doctor who uses the ancient practice of herbal medicine.
Ancient winds are blowing across the eastern Uzbek city of Namangan. The rhythm of religious and cultural life resuming after 70 years of suppression. These medicine men are also following the customs of their ancestors once more, crushing herbs for patients. Age-old methods of Oriental healing, Dr. Muhaddin knows them well.
As a young man, I had a near-fatal accident. I was cured by an old Chinese medicine man, and I became so interested that I studied with him for 14 years.
By the lights of modern medicine, his diagnosis is reached in an extremely unorthodox manner. He simply takes a pulse. His well-trained fingers detect hundreds of nuances from just the flow of blood through the veins.
He knew specifically about all of our daughter's problems, including what year she lost her hearing.
He says his herbal drugs prompt the body to fight its own battles. Sergei Medvedev and his parents traveled here from Moscow this summer. Sergei has an inoperable brain tumor. The doctor is their last hope. Dr. Muhaddin worries they waited too long to come to him, but Sergei's parents insist they've seen improvement after a few months of treatment. Dr. Muhaddin believed herbal medicine and modern medicine can complement each other if the new would accommodate the old. That seems to be a feeling many share in this Uzbek city, that in order to make a success of their future, people still have much to learn from their past. Claire Shipman, CNN, Namangan.
When 11 at 11 continues, Dave will join us again with the forecast for the week ahead and hanging out at the Art Museum, literally. We'll be right back.
Imagine a new car so durable, its paint resists chips and salt and even birds. When scratched, one of its protective coatings actually seals itself. And what's more, it may never need waxing. You know something's changed when even the paint job is a work of art. Intrepid. This changes everything.
Don't tell your parents you love the clothes at Levinsky's.
The kids insist I bring them to Levinsky's.
Tell them they'll love the prices.
They say, I'll love the prices.
And they'll always come to Levinsky's.
I do love the prices. But if you want to know the truth,
They're here for all these bargains. You know, it is Christmas.
I really come here for the style. Get what you want?
Uh-huh. And look at the price.
Just in time for Christmas, the grand opening of the newest Levinsky's store in the Newington Mall.
Meteorologist Dave Santoro is approved by the American Meteorological Society.
Well, I've been thinking, this is the first good day that we've had, warm day in a month, and it's also your birthday, and I'm just wondering if there's any connection. You have any strings that you've pulled?
Oh, no, none that I'm willing to reveal, you understand.
Well, happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, thanks a
Wonderful
lot.
weather day for
Thank you very much, Jennifer. You surprised me with that one. Caught me on a little off guard. A very mild day indeed, if it was your birthday or not. I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of people did that I spoke to. They got out, walked around. Temperature still mild, 50 degrees. The dew point 50, barometer falling now from 29.82 inches. And that's the reason why we're not going to get as warm tomorrow. You see that wind? It's out of the east now. Today it was out of the southwest. Now winds have switched into the east. Now it's going to keep temperatures cooler tomorrow. 50 degrees outside the studios here, 48 in Lewiston, 49 up in the state's capital, and 46 up in Farmington. Who did I call in Farmington? Oh, I'm trying to think. I can't remember the name right now. I apologize. 51 in Raymond, says Carol Strout, 53 in Sanford, and 50 in Laconia. High today of 64. It was a record in Portland, and a low of 43 degrees. Temperatures across the nation this evening. Look at all this warmth along the East Coast. Not typical for this time of year. 50s well into New England, 40s over northern New England, and then 30s and 20s on up into southern Canada. Last time we saw warmth like this was back on October 10th, and the next time it's normal to get temperatures like this is in the middle of May. I don't know if we're going to see temperatures like this until then, but I do know we are going to see some rain, and some rain is showing up on radar now. I'll move over here so you can see it. We'll put the images ahead and then freeze them for you. Some light rain and showers mostly are moving through the area. And you notice here some of the latest images showing some of heavier downpours moving through the lakes region of New Hampshire. And that's just the rain with a little bit more gusto as opposed to the drizzle. And that's going to be moving out of the lakes region of New Hampshire and into northern York County over the next hour or so. Back on the satellite map, we see the storm system affecting the northeast now. It's actually centered in Illinois, but its area of influence is so large. Frontal systems extend out like an octopus here through New England. That's why our winds have switched, because this front has just gone through. We also have this front here moving through the southeastern states, which has sponsored a lot of severe weather. It's here now in Georgia, but yesterday it started in Houston, and this was the maker of all that severe weather you've heard about. 48 tornadoes, numerous deaths, and a lot of destruction down here. Georgia's dealing with the latest of it. Cold behind the storm, just some light scattered snows. Heavier snows out in the Rocky Mountain states, including Nevada, Utah, Idaho, up over a foot in some of the highest mountains. As this storm pulls away and affects us during the day tomorrow, it's not going to turn very cold behind it. Sometimes you get these big storms and it turns very cold. Not the case with this one. It's going to stay mild tomorrow, and we're going to have mild weather throughout the rest of the week, or at least in the mid-40s. Low pressure now in western New York will be tracking through central New England just like this. There will be some snow for the ski areas, up to around 3 inches. I look for about a half an inch to an inch of rain here during the day tomorrow. Puddles when you wake up. Here's the forecast. A small craft advisory in effect. Winds going into the east at 15 to 25 knots. Seas running 3 to 6 feet. Visibility down to a mile or less because of the rain and fog. High tide tomorrow, 9:40 in the morning. Sunset 4:10. For the rest of tonight, light rain and showers. Temperatures 42 to 47 degrees. And then during the day tomorrow, rain and showers. A damp day. Highs 45 to 50, still mild. And then during tomorrow night, mist and drizzle. Temperatures 38 to 43 degrees. A slow clearing on Tuesday, slowly developing some sunshine. Fine travel day on Wednesday for a lot of you. Turkey Day right now looks cloudy with scattered showers. Mid-40s, Friday, drier and cooler. I remember his name now. Mark Stranton. And I should have remembered that about 3 minutes ago.
Mark is going to forgive you,
I hope he
though.
does.
I think he will.
Sorry, Mark.
I forgive you, Dave.
Thank you.
Happy birthday again.
Thanks.
And when we return, Tom Karen will have more on the building of a football legend in Foxborough. The Patriots win again, and there's one name on the tip of everyone's tongue tonight.
If you think all real estate organizations are alike, there's something you should know. In a nationwide survey, homeowners were asked which real estate organization they think could do the most to help you sell your home. And the name that came up most often was Century 21, by a very big margin, 5 to 1. Shouldn't you have the one that's head and shoulders above the rest?
Call your nearest Maine Century 21 office to take full advantage of today's buying opportunities of a lifetime.
Something extraordinary is happening at Mazda. A line of distinctive sedans brings new choices in luxury, performance, and value with the Mazda Protege. Now get all the features you want without compromising your budget. With savings on the Protege, Mazda's on the move. And your Mazda dealer is leading the way.
If you see breaking news or shoot breaking news with your home video camera, you can be a News Channel 13 News Watcher. Call News Channel 13 at 207-797-9099 to report breaking news or breaking news you've shot with your home video camera.
You'll be amazed when you try new Healthy Favorites cheese.
Is that a diet cheese? Rather eat the wrapper.
Craig, Healthy Favorites is different. It's from Kraft. Sure, it has half the fat of regular cheese and fewer calories, but Kraft makes it taste so rich, so creamy, so delicious.
Excuse me. This is good. Did you make one for yourself?
Men are so predictable.
New Healthy Favorites from Kraft. It'll be your favorite.
Mako's Ambassador Paint Service is priced right. We chemically scrub and prepare your car's old surface and give it a high-grade finish. Now only $189 at Mako.
Well, I love introducing Tom when the Patriots win. It's a rare event, but enjoyable nonetheless.
So much to celebrate.
Yes.
Dave Santoro's birthday, another win by the Patriots. You know, we got some warm weather. What a day. It just all came together, Jeff. You know, the Patriots do not name Scott Zolak the #1 quarterback this week. There may just be a riot in Foxborough. Zolak made it a perfect 2 for 2 since taking over as the Pats QB, moving the Pats well in the first half, and the defense taking over from there. A 24-3 win over the Jets before, unfortunately, the smallest crowd in the NFL this year. But we'll dwell on the positive tonight. The offense, John Stevens running the ball well here, 13 yards for the touchdown. Stevens had 2 TDs on the day, and John Zolak injecting a little enthusiasm into this Patriots team, having a little bit of fun after the touchdown. Browning Nagel and the Jets pressured all day. He's hit by Maurice Hurst. Actually, Maurice Hurst gets the pick off after Nagel was hit. And then John Vaughn, his biggest day ever as a pro, 110 yards, and a touchdown there to make it 17-0. And then Nagel picked off, this time by David Poole. A tough day for the Jets, and a great day for the Patriots and their new hero, Scott Zolak, who said he just had a lot of fun.
Coach Scar said before the game that, you know, Steve Grogan had a quote before that, you know, these kind of games and these kind of days, that tough people win the games, and I think that's what happened today. The line took it upon themselves, and they get all the credit in the world. They were going to open up holes from the beginning. They were going to block and just open up holes, give them lanes to run, and give me time to throw, and that's what they did.
Maybe it says something about their toughness. Maybe it says something about the fact that, hey, they've absolutely had enough, and it's time to go ahead and take this thing by the horns.
The Bills came back after a Monday night win looking tough today against the Falcons. The running game was the key today. Thurman Thomas over 100 yards in the first half alone. Nice run for the touchdown there. And rookie Ken Davis adding over 150 yards in a 41-14 Buffalo win over Atlanta. And the Dolphins, well, no Moon over Miami today. It was Coney Carlson replacing the injured Warren Moon for the Houston Oilers against the Dolphins, hitting Hayward Jeffries for the touchdown here. But in the final seconds of a tie game, Pete Stoyanovich puts the fish up top with a 52-yard field goal. Miami wins at 19-16 on the scoreboard. Amazingly, word after the game that Hugh Millen may start a quarterback next week after Zolak wins 2 games. Buffalo wins at 41-14. Miami wins, as we showed you in Pittsburgh, all over Indy. And if you're a Giants fan, well, you have my sympathies, folks. Quarterback Jeff Hostetler was knocked down and out of New York's game with Philadelphia, and the Giants were pushed down and out of the playoff picture. A dismal 47-34 loss at home Lawrence Taylor again on the sidelines today, and unfortunately couldn't get in there and help him out. The Eagles and Randall Cunningham struggled. They were down 20-6, but they came back. Plays like that, flipping it to Keith Byers for a 38-yard touchdown. Philadelphia taking the lead there. Midway through the third quarter, Jeff Hostetler gets nailed. He leaves the game with a concussion, and the Eagles beat the Giants 47-34. So what does Coach Handley have to say after the game?
And we had some breakdowns on defense, which gave them some obviously big plays. So other than that, I don't think there's much to talk about.
Okay, that about does it. Let's check out some scores, if we can. Philadelphia over the Giants. Thank you. 47-34. Dallas by 6 over Phoenix, 16-10. San Francisco over the Rams, 27-10. Minnesota wins it by 4. Detroit over Cincinnati. Green Bay pounds Chicago. The Bears have lost 4 straight. John Elway doesn't play, so the Broncos get shut out by the Raiders, 24-0. San Diego beats Tampa Bay, and in tonight's game, Kansas City leading by 10 in the 4th. When we come back, we'll show you how the weekend went for the state's nationally ranked college teams, and friends gather to show their support for a man who spent his life supporting others.
For a snow thrower that will handle any snowfall, we suggest a Toro Power Curve. They're lightweight, easy to handle, and throw snow up to 30 feet. So they're perfect for those times when it really comes down. See the complete line of Toro Power Curve snow throwers at these Toro dealers.
I'd like you to listen to something. You didn't hear much, did you? And you won't when you own a quality product like this Lane Quiet Action Recliner from Country Farm Furniture. In our galleries, you'll find Lane styles from country to traditional to contemporary. We offer over 1,000 fabrics and 30 shades of leather. Prices start at just $2.99, and we always have at least 100 chairs in stock for immediate free delivery. So for real quality, service, and value, come to Country Farm Furniture.
Introducing the new minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Shop the widest range of models and options with savings on America's most popular minivans, like Grand Voyager with extra room, greater versatility, added comfort and safety. Grand Voyager is the minivan for families with growing needs. If you're looking for a minivan, any minivan, first see the experts who sold over 3 million. The minivan store, only at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Pizza Hut wants you to share in the magic of Walt Disney's newest video classic, Beauty and the Beast. Now your kids can collect Beast, Belle, Chip, and Cogsworth. Each puppet's $1.49 with any pizza purchase. And when you buy the video at your local video store, you get the Pizza Hut value card for great pizza value. So experience the fantasy of Beauty and the Beast, now with Pizza Hut.
In women's basketball, the USM Alumni Classic was indeed a classic. Southern Maine blowing out at Western Connecticut 71-40 today. In the 2 games, the Huskies outscored their opponents 157-76. Let's check out a couple of highlights from Gordon. Cindy Lapierre over to Katarina Pulkkinen with the basket. And then Allison Gagne going up the middle here for the bucket. Gagne on the all-tournament team, as was Lori Tall. Anna Struck was the MVP in the big win. On the scoreboard, men's game, Southern Maine makes it a good day in Gorham with a win over Notre Dame College. They're from New Hampshire. St. Joseph's win on the road. Westbrook makes it 2-0 on the season. And women's play, Southern Maine wins, as we said, and St. Joseph's wins the Plymouth State Tournament. Well, it's early in the season, but you could bet well, let's go with this. You could bet the 2 things for UMaine hockey will happen this week. First, the Bears will remain first in the nation. And Hockey East officials will no doubt be looking at this tape. A fight from last night's 6-3 win over BU. Folks, this happens in the NHL, but not in college. And you can bet there will be some discipline handed out to UMainers. Were kicked out with game disqualifications. Martin Mercier and Chris Ferraro, they could see more than a 1-game suspension. And finally tonight, over 700 people gathered in Portland to pay tribute to a man who has done so much for Maine sports. Eddie Griffin has gathered more friends and garnered more support for Maine amateur sports than anyone. Griffin has been diagnosed as having cancer. He isn't expected to live long. Tonight, more than 700 people gathered in a living wake to honor Griffin and celebrate his life. You know, Eddie Griffin was one of the first people I got to know when I started working in television here. He called me all the time, and there is no finer person, and our hearts go out to him. We hope he beats the odds and keeps going for a while.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Tom. Sure. And we'll be right back after this.
Who could this be? What do I see? There's music in dancing, the cont'd cookie. Big Bird and his friends make fun come alive. Why? Because there's nothing like Sesame Street Live. Follow us there, and I'll show you where.
Coming to Portland December 3rd through the 6th and Augusta December 8th and 9th. Opening night tickets only $6.50. Compliments of News Channel 13 and Shop and Save.
In my business, my hair has to look great. And even one flake of dandruff, even one, can wreck the whole thing. So I started using new Head & Shoulders. Yeah, Head & Shoulders is new. Now it gets to 10 times more of the places where dandruff starts. 10 times. No other shampoo has this formula. Even one flake is one too many for me. And new Head & Shoulders works harder at getting them. New Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Right now, you can lease this 93 Taurus GL for just $249 a month, and that's for 24 months. It includes a big 3-liter V6, anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, power windows and locks, driver's side airbag, AM/FM stereo cassette, and lots more, all for just $249 a month with a 24-month lease. So hurry into your New England Ford dealer today. This offer won't be around for long.
Checking tonight's top stories now, the death toll from a series of weekend tornadoes across the South has climbed to at least 20, with 15 deaths in Mississippi alone. The violent weather may not be over, and tornado watches have been posted for more than a half-dozen southern states. In Wells, wardens are investigating how a bullet from a hunter's gun landed smack dab in the middle of a family's living room. Game wardens say whoever shot the bullet was not hunting illegally. Still, the family is understandably concerned. And President-elect Clinton and his sometimes critic Jesse Jackson appear to be getting along very well now. The two men met for a half hour today at the Arkansas governor's mansion, and Jackson praised the soon-to-be president as a racial healer. And Dave has a quick recap of the weather tomorrow.
We're going to see some rain and showers tomorrow, Jennifer. Roads are going to be wet when you get up. We've got the light rain and showers and fog outside now. It'll continue throughout the day tomorrow, slowly end tomorrow night, and we'll get the sun back in here Tuesday afternoon.
But at least it'll be a little warm, huh?
That's right. Today, very mild.
Yeah.
Record warmth today, near 50 tomorrow still.
Great. That's great. Thanks, Dave. And finally tonight, they're climbing the walls at a museum in San Francisco, literally. The museum wants to help its patrons explore navigation through art, so they've employed a dance troupe to hang from the rafters and climb the walls. The idea is to spark people's imagination by experimenting with balance and space. The exhibit gives a whole new meaning to hanging around the art museum. All right, I'd like to go to that. Thanks for watching. Joe Palmieri will be here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with your first look at the morning news. I'm Jennifer Sabi. Have a great week, everyone.